Yeah, hello Idan. I'm very happy to do this interview with you, to talk with you.
Yes, hi Sabine.
And hey, hello. Yeah, so we found out that we do have similarities in our work. So we both do dance workshops and dance events, and we are also working with these energy centers in the body with the chakras that have special
Yes,
qualities and also special requests.
yes.
And I would today talk with you about the first chakra. So the first chakra is really located it's the root chakra. So it's at the base of the body. It's located at the perineum, the pelvic floor. And the qualities of this first chakra, which is also called root chakra or muladhara, are are really this grounding. It's also associated with the element earth. And the qualities are also this feeling of security, and it has also to do with inner trust and this deep inner trust. And the request which is associated with it is safety and home. And yeah, and often we didn't really get enough of this in our childhood, and there is a lack of it. So my question to you would be: so how, what can we do to heal this lake of home, of safety, if we didn't get really enough of that when we were children?
What a great question. Thank you for that. Yeah, and I want to add to your description is great and it's very precise. And I want to add that the all, from my approach, the all um, this energy center is I call it home,
Mm.
and home is about the first thing in home is to feel safe. I always like the image of a child that, or of a baby that is coming to the world. First, she needs to feel safe, she needs to feel protected. And then it's about nourishment and abundance and this feeling that there is plenty for me. I don't need to struggle for getting my basic needs, my physical needs, and also my emotional. And then comes containment, which is a very interesting word because in German there is no word for containment. It's
Mm, yeah, I see like both sides of this word, and there's like it that it's kind of like being held, but
yes,
also it's also a restriction also in a way, no? So it has
yeah,
like both
no,
sides.
that's a bit mistranslation in German. There is this. It's like you can think it's like a container. So containment is also is really connected to the work that we are doing because our body is our container. We contain our emotions in our body. So containment is that I can feel myself and I can feel you as well. So I can feel you and I can also feel you feeling me. So I am being felt by you. So
Mhm.
when I feel that you feel me, that you see me, then I feel that I'm contained. So for let's go back to this baby, when the mother is in tune with her, it means that she look at the child, the baby, and she starts to try to feel what she feels now. The baby get this signal in the brain that now it is safe because I'm felt by my mom.
Mm.
So if I go back to your question, so what happens when we're not getting all of this? Because these are big expectations, and if the world will, if us humans will have all of this, the world would look different. We all can agree to that. But what happens if we did not? Then to go back to our parents and to try to get what we didn't get will probably not work. But what we can do is first is acknowledging that we didn't get something, that something is missing.
Mm-hmm.
So first to acknowledge what is missing in my life, and how can I know what is missing is by noticing what is triggering me. So if I am a kind of person that is very, very fast triggered when I feel not secure, or I go into a place and I need to check around, see if it's safe here. So I know there is some fear underneath. So I need to realize, oh wow, there is a fear. Why am I afraid? So then I need to go back home, basically, and to figure out what happened there, or what is the reason that I have this emotion. Because you said that home is a lot about trust, and the opposite of trust is, of course, fear.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So if I can start to track my triggers back and to understand what I didn't get, then I can start to give it back to myself in a way. How do I do it? First, okay, so I said first it's acknowledgement. I acknowledge that there is something missing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I acknowledge, okay, something is missing here, there is already awareness, because I'm not kind of like hostage by the emotion. I'm not hostage by the hurt child that was lacking something.
Mm-hmm.
So then when I go back from the trigger and I realize, okay, this is what is happening to me now, I already bring awareness, and then I start to ask myself, how can I bring a sense of safety to my life? So one of the things that I'm doing, we will talk about the dance floor soon, but one of the things that I'm doing, I'm asking when I meet people in my practice here, I ask, when did you feel secure in your life? Give me one example. And then I ask, how does it feel in the body right now when you talk about it, when you remind yourself this?
And
So it's
then
like
you
a
can
little
bring
opening.
it back.
Exactly. So then the brain doesn't know that we're talking about a moment in the past. So the brain starts to feel, the body starts to feel what the brain is processing. So, okay, wow, there, when I was 20, let's say 24, and I was traveling in the world, I felt so connected to something bigger than me, and I felt really safe. And anywhere I landed, I felt at home. I was like, oh, that's it. You see? So we know that you have it already, and here we can just start to expand it. But what happened if somebody says to me, I never felt secure all my life. I'm at home with closed doors, with closed windows, just going out to get my stuff and back and cannot function. Then I will go back even further and try to find a time before the trauma, before something happened in the past. Because I'm not talking about now really severe situations where the trauma started already in birth or before or during pregnancy, because this of course needs a different kind of work. But most of the people were born and did get a sense of security at some point in their life. But at some point, sometimes it's very early in age, they lost it. But if you go back to the time where you were, let's say, 1.5 years old or 2 years old, where you started to walk around the house and you start to play with toys and with things and start to feel that this is my space here, I have home, I feel secure, then you can also go back to this time in your memory, or at least imagine or take a photo of yourself and think, oh, that's where I felt safe. So that's another opening. So these are, for example, 2 ways to go back there and to feel that I have it, because in my essence I do feel safe. But then on the
What?
dance floor,
Yeah, that's the good question. So because I think it's super important. So if you realize, where was the moment, where I lost it, and you get
yeah,
aware of this is good. But then the important thing is that you get it into the body, because otherwise it's not
yes,
enough.
yes,
So
of
if it's
course,
just, in the brain,
yes,
that's not enough. We have to really to feel this, that it
yes,
can really change. Yeah. And
yes.
so this would be the
So
question to you, how you do this in the
yes.
dance. Yeah.
So let's think about in general the whole context of the dance. What are we doing? We're creating safe spaces for people. So this
Yes.
is already home. So people are coming to a safe space. First they feel like strangers. It depends, if it's an ongoing group, then at some point the people doesn't feel strangers, they feel already at home. But let's take this situation that we just start, or we're doing one time event. The first thing that we are creating is safe space. How do you create safe space? You first recognize to the people, you just acknowledge to the people that it might feel not safe right now for you. Your brain might tell you it's not safe here. So let's tell our brain, yes, you have good reason to feel that it's not safe here. Of course, you are in a different place, you're not at home, there are strangers dancing around you. So first we do this acknowledgement.
Okay.
And then once we have the acknowledgement, so we bring awareness, because when I'm speaking with my participants, I speak with two of them. Each person is twice for me. Is the conscious, adult, mature, creator we are, and the hurt child we are.
Yes.
So when I say it is not safe here, your brain might tell you that it's not safe here. I'm speaking about the hurt children in each one of the participants. So first we create a safe space, and we try to bring people to an experience of safetiness, so that here in this place among these people, and now I can feel safe. Here in my body I can start to feel safe. I start to have the sense of it. I start to feel that I have space around me that is safe. I slowly start to work. I work a lot with space as a core movement resource. So the space inside me and the space outside of me, the space that is very close to me, just noticing, okay, around me there is some space, and then around me and the wall behind me and the ceiling and the floor, and then around me and other people or objects, furniture, whatever is there. So I start to expand the space, the safe space, with my awareness that it's becoming more and more safe. And then there is a moment that I asked, can you take a partner? This is sometimes very dramatic for many people, because they're like, I don't want to take a partner. So now who doesn't want to take a partner? Of course it's the hurt child that is afraid. So then acknowledge it. Wow, you might have this resistance now to engage with another person. Let's see, how does it feel? So then slowly we start to practice this attunement that I was speaking about before. Can I dance with you? And I feel that you feel me, and I can feel you. So we are feeling each other, and it starts to be more safe. So we are using each other to create the safe space that maybe some of the people didn't have with their parents, because of neglect, because of controlling. There are many ways, abuse, because not everybody has this secure attachment that with their parents, that they felt constantly safe. So we create an environment that bring this safety. That's why the power of the group is really, really strong. And when I work one-on-one with people, then I am the one that they need to feel that they are safe with.
Yes, most important.
And when we are dancing, then we are responsible to bring this safetiness to each other, and by that we also bring it to ourselves.
Mm-hmm. So how can we experience our body as safe containers?
That's a good one. Yeah, first it's to allow ourselves to feel. And you know, you just touched a really important point here that I wanted to mention before, because the trauma is telling our body that here and now it doesn't feel good. It's not good. It's not safe. So I want to be out of here. I want to be out of the body. I don't want to feel because something is not, it doesn't feel good to me, in my physicality. So what we are doing, we are, instead of doing what the body and also the mind was used to do in order to survive the trauma, which is going away, we are asking to come back. And we are asking to come back, and we have to do it in a very, very conscious way. First, to remind ourselves that now is this moment here, and it's not the past. So we differentiate between present and past. And of course also future. Because you can also throw yourself to the future in trauma. Because you feel here it's not good, I'm just hoping to get out of here. Or here it's not good, I'm out of here. Or here it's not good, I'm fighting, or I'm freeze, or I'm whatever I'm doing to survive in this situation. So we are asking to come back to the body and to start to feel slowly, gently, that it's okay to feel. It's okay to feel emotions that till now were out of the question, or we used to put them aside or to suppress or do not want to feel them. It's like going to a river. No, it's like going to a pond, you know, and the pond is really, really sticky and stinky, and you don't want to go there because you've been there already, and it doesn't smell good and it doesn't feel good. Okay? So when we dance, when we are in a group settings, I'm not asking everybody go jump to your pond, to your sticky pond. I said just start to come close to it, and maybe just put one toe in the water and remind yourself, you know, like in acupuncture, you just do it 1 point. Like basically what you're doing, you are training the brain and the nervous system that it's okay to feel it. It's okay to start to feel. It's okay to start to feel, especially the areas that are not so easy to feel. Maybe they are numbed, maybe they are overactivated. So you slowly start to find, okay, how can I move this area? How can I bring my attention to it? How can I start to move with it, start to breathe with it? And slowly I say to myself, I bring myself back to safetiness. But in general, when there is strong emotion coming, what we are doing many times, we are doing this, no? I don't want to feel it, away. So in my approach, we are doing the opposite direction. We're doing like this, come and give me more of this. So if I'm afraid, let's say I'm afraid. So instead of suppressing the fear, like every emotion, when you bring it to the light, it shrinks, especially fear. So if I feel fear, then I'm asking myself, what am I afraid of? And I allow it to move with me. And when I ask myself again and again, what am I afraid of? And I can name it to myself, and I can bring it to my awareness, even if I'm writing it, then it is not as big as it was before. Because there is awareness. It's like everything you bring from the darkness to the light, it is dissolving sometimes. It is not as huge. So the movement is towards the pain, and when you go towards the pain, you're also going towards the beauty that is hidden underneath the pain. So there is also power and source in the pain, because the effort of not feeling and hiding from, or hiding emotions, or hiding stories, or all of these things, the effort creates much more stress than facing it. But a really important point: never alone. Okay? Of course you can do work by yourself, but in a group settings it's much more powerful because you're not alone. When you're with a therapist, it's powerful because you're not alone. And if you are alone and you are triggered, then you need to find a way. How can you co-regulate yourself? How can you go to nature, or even get your pet with you to kind of like feel that you are safe with another person or a friend.
And is it also an approach that when the emotion is coming, to focus more on what is actually happening in the body, so that you really feel it, and not so much on like firing more thoughts about it, that you really go for like experiencing, okay, what is it, and maybe actually I survived this, it's it's just something in the body, and then because often it's our thoughts that make our emotions bigger and bigger and bigger, then we don't get out of it, because the mind is like firing more and more around that, and that actually the thing which is in the body is it's a sensation.
Yes. And emotion is it's like an energy. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a feeling, and it's the more you acknowledge it, the more you give it room, you give it home, because that's also space, home, room. The less it is grabbing you, the less you are like that, the less it is taking over you. I like this image. In my approach, every emotion, every trigger is coming from the same place. It's coming from the hurt child. Now, it doesn't matter. You can go back and say, no, it's coming from before, sometimes past lives or whatever. It doesn't matter. It's okay. It's all coming from our hurt children. So the hurt inner child, when something like this is happening, when there is a trigger, the hurt child is saying, never again, I don't want to feel this again. It's like putting your finger into the electricity. You don't want to you do it once in your life, you never do it again. So same with this child. So she is saying, never again, I don't want. And then she starts to take over and ruling the adult. But the adult knows, the mature adult, which is sitting here in the frontal cortex, because the child is sitting here at the back in the old brain, in the fundamental brain, then the mature adult, the awareness, knows that what is happening emotionally doesn't make sense. So that it means that the child from here is taking over, is running the show. So I like the image, like if you drive a car, imagine you allow your kid to sit on the wheel, and you go at the back and say, okay, let's see what happens. It's a recipe for a disaster. But if you say to this child, yes, I know, I see you are terrified or triggered or shamed or whatever you feel, I'm here, I stay on the steering wheel, and you can sit at the back there, I'm still in charge. But this is with a lot of compassion and a lot of seeing and being attuned with the emotion and allowing it to be, and not with suppression or with denial. Or because if we act like this, then we are acting exactly like our caretakers, because the hurt and the trauma comes from exactly those things: not being seen, not being heard, not being felt, neglect, controlling, abuse. So then because we don't want to treat our hurt inner children the way they got treated, we need to bring all our love and all our understanding and compassion to those triggers. Because love is the healing. When you ask me actually how can we heal, the healing is love. Because when I start to move in a space where I feel loved by so many people, I am healed. When I put my attention on my shoulder that is hurting so much, but I now move it in a very, very gentle way without any, and I start to bring my attention to here. My attention to here is love. So love is a very strong healing power. And when love meets pain, then there is a birth of compassion. Because compassion is love that sees pain. When I walk in the street and I see a homeless person, when I see him with criticized eyes, not loving eyes, not containing eyes, as a person that is not working and is wasting his life, then there's no love there. But if I see this person as a hurt child, my heart is open, then my love is meeting the pain, and that's where compassion comes, and this compassion can lead me to do something about it. So this is basically the remedy for our work.
This also brings me to the question, what the part of the collective in this work. So because you call your workshop, so we're also talking because you have this upcoming workshop, and it's Soil to Grow, Healing Home, a collective healing dance journey. And my question is, how this is, so what is the role of the collective in it? So what is it when we dance together? What does it do, for the healing? Maybe you can talk about that a little bit.
Yes. Imagine when you meet a therapist or a good friend and you feel loved by this person. And now imagine that you dance with 20, 25 people and you feel the love all around you in the room. So it is basically bringing much more of this remedy we spoke about to the room. I believe that a group of people that is coming together with the same intention have a very strong healing power. So that's why we dance in communities, because you can also dance at home. I have some recording sessions that you can dance to, but it's not the same effect. Also we didn't speak about it so much, but I think also the collective have a very strong power to heal also the ancestral lineage that is also always with us, and this is part of our trauma. If you look at the world now and what is happening, and you see last week the elections in the US, and we see what is happening in Israel and in Palestine, in the Middle East, in Ukraine, in Amsterdam last week, it's obvious that we are living the unintegrated trauma of our ancestors of the past generations. Otherwise, why is it continuing like this? So the work is healing. It's not just healing home. I call it Soil to Grow, Healing Home. It's healing home, my home. It's healing our home, and it's healing home as earth. This thing that we call home. So the collective have a it's a very powerful tool. I always say that it's, I bring my skills, my facilitation, my toolbox. It's not about me at all. It's about what is happening in the space between me and the group. What happens inside the group. And of course, add to that the music and the dance and the movement. But it's like an orchestra of many, many parts, And when they are all coming together and in tune, and they start to feel that they can sense the same sensations, energy, then we move from the hurt children, from the trauma, from the pain, to our power, to our source, to how we used to be before we got hurt, or how we will be when we heal ourselves. So this is always in the space as well. But it is much more powerful in a group settings, when there are people in a room, when you do it at home, or when you do it with another person, or in a one. So maybe I say just a word about the coming event, which is the Soil to Grow Healing Home. So it will take place this weekend, the 16th and the 17th of November, Saturday, Sunday, 2 days. The first day is going to be a lot about shadow work and the home I had and the home, and we will break it a little bit into pieces and learn what's the beliefs that I adapted from my home. Like the world is dangerous, many things that we have in our kind of like in our internal song that we are living with without being aware of it, and we will touch mainly this and start to bring it into movement. And then the day after, we will start to get rid of the things that we don't want anymore. It's like if you have a soil, if you have a ground, you just do like this, and you take all the little things that are not necessary anymore, or the dry grass away, and then we will plant some seeds for what do we want and how do we want to nourish ourselves in order to grow and to mature and to heal and to keep this wild flower of us alive. So this will be the second day. It will be a lot about resourcing and nourishing and creating new reality for us for the future. Yes. Yeah, and it's in Vitality Base, and all the details are somewhere around, and it would be really cool to have anybody that is interested in this work. We'll dance, we will do some inquiries, writing, couples work, and and it will be deep but fun as well, and empowering. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you, Sabine, for your time, for taking the time for it. It was really great to have your questions, and to have this conversation. I'm grateful for our exchange. I really love it.
Yeah.